The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
Morning, you're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. Butch over here with you, along with Bob Morgan, here on this Monday morning, the 7th day of January. We thank you very much for tuning in. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Burge Ford in Blackshear, by Murphy Builder Supply on Northeast Price Street in downtown Jesup, Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street, and also by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good.
Doing good?
Good weekend, good football, big championship game tonight. So good time of year.
It's interesting reading all the so-called experts' prediction on tonight's game. I would say probably at least 80-90% of them are picking Alabama, which, you know, is always the safe choice.
It's just hard to pick against Alabama. You know,
yeah.
Clemson's beaten them like a couple of times they played them, but it's hard to go against Nick Saban in Alabama, especially when he's got a quarterback that he hasn't had the luxury of having all that. You know, this guy's just fun to watch. So
yeah.
Clemson's got a great defense, and Trevor Lawrence is a heck of a quarterback, so should be a good ball game. But, you know, it's hard to go against Alabama. I mean, Clemson's got a good shot when they're both undefeated. Dabo Swinney has had success against Saban, so most people think Dabo's going to be the next Alabama coach when Saban eventually says goodbye. But
oh, you think so?
Well, he's a Clemson. I mean, he's an Alabama guy. Played at Alabama.
He played at Alabama.
Coached
well,
at Alabama.
Sense.
You know, he's just that's what everybody believes will happen. You know, Dabo hasn't said that, but that's the logical choice. Most people think once Saban steps down, that's where Dabo's headed. So
okay.
Time will tell.
I guess it's according to how much money Clemson ante's up. Kind of like when Dooley went down to Auburn. Well, got to go there, you know. There, I went there. But that was just a Floyd to make more money at Georgia.
Right.
Yeah. So, because no matter where you graduated from, what the loyalties are, as usual, it always comes down to the money.
Apparently, both universities have plenty.
Plenty, apparently. So it ought to be a great game tonight. But what time is kickoff?
About 8 o'clock.
About 8 o'clock?
8:15, somewhere in that.
Somewhere in that
8:10, sometime around there.
Okay.
But pretty close to 8 o'clock.
All right. Good NFL playoff games over the weekend. Other than the first one, and the rest of them were kind of close. You got to feel for the Bear fans from last night. I mean, you
got to feel for
you
that
drive
kicker.
down.
Yeah. I mean, kicks through the uprights, but they call timeout and he has to kick it again. And as Chris Collinsworth greatly said, it's a double doink. Hit the sidebar and the crossbar. So
doink doink and fell on the wrong side of the crossbar.
So tough way to lose a ball game, but you're not supposed to let it come down to a final kick, but so many of those NFL games do. But that's why those kickers are, hit or miss,
And thinking like I said, it is sad.
Even Justin Tucker missed one on Sunday. He's one of the best kickers for Baltimore. I mean, he doesn't normally miss, but it's a tough life of a kicker. But unfortunately, you got to depend on.
He made the one when they called the timeout, just right through it, and then the second one. I mean, you wonder why these coaches call timeouts right before the kick.
Georgia fans know all about missed kicks.
Oh, yeah.
If Rodrigo hits that field goal, and that game against Alabama is probably a different game. But, as they say, if it's hands and butts for candies and nuts, we'd all have Merry Christmas. But it just doesn't happen. But the kickers, I mean, it's tough. You play the whole ball game, it comes down to
a kick. That. 3 points you're trying to get.
Just sad way to lose, end the season. But the coach of Chicago did a good job, stood up, said, that's the way it is. We'll learn from it, move on. But it's just a tough pill to swallow thing. I was listening to a morning show coming in. They said they got a letter from a Chicago Bear fan. Said he's been a Bear fan for 45 years. That's the hardest loss he's ever had.
The hardest one.
But that's the way it goes. Got to have a good kicker.
Oh, yeah. Got to have that kicker. And, it's amazing how these teams can struggle on offense all three and a half quarters, and then suddenly, when things are getting down to the wire, they can fly down the field. Where was that offense for 3.5 quarters?
Well, the defense changed too. They got a prevent, and they said they prevent you from winning. So, San Diego almost blew that game, and there at the end they had it in control, and all of a sudden Lamar Jackson got hot. So, good ball games. The best game of the weekend there was the Dallas-Seattle game. That was just a great game, back and forth. So, and then Seattle lost their kicker, got injured, couldn't kick the extra point. So, that was interesting how that game ended.
Who does Dallas play next?
Dallas plays L.A. Rams.
All right.
Todd Gurley and company. Both L.A. teams still alive. A lot of people, predicted that from the beginning of the season that 2 L.A. teams would make it to the Super Bowl. So, be interesting.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Tom Brady in Kansas City will have something like that, and the Saints are still odds on favorite. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a tough fight at the Superdome. So, they play Sunday afternoon at 4:30. So, that'll be a good ball game.
Did Wayne County's Tom McGill play much?
Played a little bit, about 15, 20 snaps. He did play.
Okay.
So they're moving on. So it'd be nice to see him get there.
And it's defensive tackle?
Defensive end. Defensive tackle. Well, he's in middle line. They move him around. He's defensive lineman. So. But he's played some.
Okay. I was reading something the other day, and it said the fact that the after off-market tickets for the national championship game tonight are not going for that much compared to last year and the year before. And the reason why is they have stuck this game all the way out there in California. And so it's difficult for people to make that trip out there and then pay a lot of extra money for tickets. This writer was saying, from the way that the playoffs seem to be, the game needs to be somewhere in the South or Midwest. Sticking it out there in California, it could be could hurt attendance in future games.
It could be. They said you'll see something like you haven't seen. There's some empty seats for your national championship game. So, somebody went online yesterday and looked. I think the tickets are around $150, which is unheard of for a national championship game. But
you got a team from South Carolina, you got a team from Alabama, and you stick it way out there in California, which they're not as passionate about football out there as we are in this part of the country. And why they did that is beyond my understanding.
That's just the rotating bases. That's the way NCAA has it set up. So,
well, hopefully they'll learn.
No, they're stuck.
They're stuck in 4 games in the playoffs.
Stuck on 4 games. They're stuck on the rotating bases. They're not changing anytime soon. So,
but it's not like the NCAA is this body of men that have been, or women that maybe have been there for the last 50 years. I mean, they change all the time. So why is the policy always the same?
Well, they got that contract. When they signed that contract, the contract
goes. Can be changed.
Well, I'm just telling you, NCAA people,
they can be changed.
Even the talking heads are convinced that it's not changing anytime soon. They've been praying and yelling and screaming for it, but even they're convinced now. They've gotten the word from the powers that be. It's not changing anytime soon. That it's going to stay at 4 teams.
Well, the more money has to be thrown in front of them. That's what it's all about. Years. They'll sit back and say, "All right, give us more money." It's always about the money, Bob. They give them more money, it'll change.
It wouldn't change the results of this year. I mean, it's always the two best teams are Alabama.
The best 2 teams are playing. There's no doubt about that.
Dabo Swinney said it 9 weeks ago. It's Alabama and everybody else. He said he's glad to just be with everybody else. But he's got a chance to knock them off tonight. So it'll be interesting how it all plays out. Most people think it'll be a defensive battle, low-scoring ball game, but hopefully it doesn't come down to a kick and somebody misses a kick.
I know. Let's hope not that.
Well, could you imagine if that poor Chicago kicker has to live that the entire offseason?
Well, how many kickers have had to live with it? How many receivers have dropped balls in the end zone? How many quarterbacks have thrown way over the receiver for that? You seem to notice it more when it's a kicker than anything else. But we've seen a lot of drop passes in end zones.
There was one guy that had a national TV show 3-4 years ago. He advocated just get rid of kicking altogether. Just, do away the kickoffs. Just start the ball to 25, 30-yard line. Do away, no kickers. Go for 2 every time. Not let it come down to kickers.
Why?
That was just what he said. Just do away kickers altogether. not have any kickers on the team.
So, no, except for punters.
Just have a punter, but no kickers.
No kickers.
Don't let it come down to kicking. Just.
Well, that's
He was yelling.
specialty
He was
teams.
harping on that for about 2-3 years, but it never did.
The specialty teams. I mean, they always say you got offense, defense, and the specialty teams. I mean, which NFL team ran a kickoff back for a touchdown yesterday? Didn't they? The day before?
I didn't watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. I can't remember.
I just love these instant replays. What most people see, just I mean, you think the technology improves the game, but sometimes you just sit there. I mean, it's funny to me yesterday watching those games. I mean, the two guys in the booth, they'd have the NFL guy there, and they say, "Oh, this call is going to be this," and then sure enough, they come on and do the exact opposite of what they said.
I know it was. I was listening to the games, and it was interesting hearing those comments.
So it just depends on interpretation, what you see, what you don't see. You'd just like to know who's making that final decision. But most times they get it right, but sometimes you just shake your head and go, what did they see? Why didn't they change it? Why didn't they do this? But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Like I said, 4 good games. Be 4 good games this weekend. Super Bowl's in Atlanta. Most people think it's still going to be the Saints, and Kansas City's still the odds-on favorite in the AFC, but I don't know.
Don't they have an injury too?
Well, they lost a player to suspension, plus their defense isn't very good. So,
yeah. Speaking of that, they've changed all these rules and regulations over the last 10 years to make the games more exciting, and practically, have changed the rules where defensive players have a hard time knowing how they can hit and all that kind of stuff, and you can't hardly even touch the quarterback with your pinky finger. But they were defensive battles for the most part all weekend long.
Yeah, low-scoring ball games. It's good to see defenses show up.
Yeah, it's good to see defenses show up, but do you think some of these coaches get into more of a let's don't lose the game more than let's win the game type of attitude? I mean, they kept harping on yesterday on the radio broadcast of the last game last night, the Bears and the Eagles, saying that, come on, Philadelphia, you need to do some short passes. Your running game's not working. You've only, it's not working. Try some short passes and stuff like that. And the other commentator said, well, they're playing it close to the chest.
Yeah, that Bears defense is awfully good, but they didn't come up when they needed to. They were talking about that last night on the show, recapping the games. Chicago's defense is supposed to be the best. Well, they had a chance to stop them, but they didn't stop them. So, but that Nick Foles magic continues. He's just got that. He just gets everybody involved. They said that last drive he threw 8 passes to 7 different receivers. So he gets everybody involved in the game and does a good job, and just seems to have that lucky horseshoe. He took him to the Super Bowl last year, and possibly could take him to the Super Bowl again this year.
Someone just texted in. Remember, if you have questions or comments you want to text into us, you can always do it. 912, got a regular business line, 912-427-3711. It is text enabled. It should just pop up on our computer screen up here, what we have up here. 912-427-3711. It says, ask Bob about Tampa Bay wanting to talk to Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart is not leaving University of Georgia.
That would be like Nick Saban going to the NFL again.
Kirby Smart's got his dream job. He's at his alma mater. He's not going to coach NFL football in Tampa Bay. That's the dumbest. It's the dumbest. He's not leaving. I promise you, Kirby Smart's not leaving Athens, Georgia, to go to Tampa Bay. That's not happening. How that report got out, I don't know. I've seen it, but I don't believe it.
Some people just like making stuff up to see their story get legs to it,
He's just got a nice raise, too. He's just got a nice bonus. I mean,
yeah.
He's not.
And he's living out there in the Classic City area, so, he can't get any better.
He's home. He's not looking for the headaches that NFL. I promise you, Kirby's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That would be the biggest shock in a long time if Kirby Smart opted to go be a head football coach in the NFL. I never haven't heard Kirby ever mention the NFL. He's interested in the NFL. I mean,
Yeah, I've never heard any of that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't see Kirby Smart going to coach NFL football.
Have you heard any other rumors of, or heard any facts about any other college head coaches trying to look at the NFL, maybe go to it, or maybe one big head coach looking to go over to another college football program?
It's all these NFL coaches just being recycled. I mean, they just show up. They get fired one place, they come to another place. So I don't know.
Well, the NFL...
The guy they'd like to have, like I said this in my sportscast, there's 8 NFL jobs. Can somebody please give Saban a job? You know, he's been NFL. Can they get him out of Alabama?
Just get him out of here.
Yeah, let him go to Tampa. Let him go to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers needs a quarterback coach. Go to, get him somebody. Just get him.
Dabo would just swing or just head on down from Clemson to Alabama.
Just get Saban out of there.
Saban does not want to go back to the NFL. I can guarantee you that.
I don't think he wants to go back to the NFL either.
He's in his last years of his coaching, so.
Well, I said, I don't know if that story's true, but like I said, he told that story to, I said they have these banquets where you have to pay all this money to sit with the coaches, I told that story. Friend, the guy's sitting there, Saban's sitting at the table, and the guy's intimidated, he's worried, doesn't even know what to, he's just sitting there quiet. So Saban finally looks at him and says, look, you paid big money to be at the table, you going to speak, you going to talk? I'll answer any question you want to ask. So the guy says, well, I am curious. He said, why did you leave LSU to go to Miami, You seem like you were content at LSU, won a national championship game. Well, Saban said, well, that's an interesting story. He said, let me tell you that story. He says, Wayne Huizenga's got a lot of money. He brought his private plane, said he wanted to meet with me. So he brings the private plane. I get on the private plane. I go down to Miami. He wines and dines me at Side Beach. And at the end of the dinner, he hands me a check and says, look, you just put whatever amount of money it's going to take to get you to Miami because we want you that bad. I don't care doesn't matter how many millions there are. Here's the check. You just fill it out. And he's sitting there thinking, he said, well, I appreciate it, Mr. Huizenga, but, I really want to think about this. Can I go home and talk to my wife and, discuss it and give me the weekend? Huizenga says, sure, no problem. So he flies back to LSU. He gets out of the airport. He's driving up to his house. There's moving vans and furniture coming out of his house. And he's going, what in the world's going on? I haven't even made a decision yet. So he drives up there and says, honey, what's going on? I haven't made any decision to go to Miami. She said, well, Wayne Huizenga just sent me $3 million cash, and we're going to Miami. Now, whether that's a true story, I don't know, but that's the story they tell. That Mrs. Saban got a nice check.
She called the shot, huh?
And she said, we're going to Miami, going shopping.
Yes, honey.
So
whatever you say.
I think that's just one of those fallacy stories that makes a good story. But like I said, Saban did it. Saban's like Spurrier, he found out that NFL players make more than they do, and they don't really listen,
Yeah,
Spurrier tells that story all the time. He was just miserable in Washington. He played golf every day. He didn't even go,
He's miserable over there, huh?
Yeah, he said nobody would listen to him, He tried to talk to those guys, and they're like, who you, I make more than you do. I'm not paying any attention, so...
Yeah, but the head coach has got the right to keep the guy on the bench or not. Of course, you don't win if you're keeping your starters on the bench. So.
Spurrier some coaches are just fit for college.
They are.
Spurrier was a collegiate coach. Saban seems to be a collegiate coach. I believe Kirby's a collegiate. I couldn't see Kirby coaching NFL. Like I said, I've never heard Kirby even mention the dream of being an NFL head coach. So I don't see him going to Tampa Bay.
Where's Urban Meyer going to be in 2 years?
Well, Justin Fields is going to Ohio State, so he'll probably come out of the administration to coach him. So that's all he wants. He wants a star quarterback, so he's getting one in Justin Fields. So he'll probably say, I think I will coach. Nobody believes he's not coaching again. I mean, that's what's sad. I mean, he keeps telling everybody he's not. He's done. That's why he says he's done, but nobody believes him because his track record is you can't believe, when you lie time and time again, no one believes. It's like Pinocchio.
People were laughing because they said that on the campus there he's going to be teaching a limited course on character.
Right.
Urban Meyer teaching a class on character.
The rumor was he's going to go to USC. He's going to sit around a year and go to USC, so time will tell. But, Urban Meyer not coaching again just doesn't resonate with anybody. Everybody believes he definitely wants to coach again. The question is where he's going to coach. So.
Well, some of these players, I believe, not players, but these coaches, they have their own personal agendas. Like, Saban, I know he would like to win tonight, but he would also like to win that 8th national championship, so he'd be the all-time, okay? And then you've got someone like Urban Meyer who did well in Florida. He's done well at Ohio State. And, of course, before then he did well, but those are the big schools. And maybe his thing is, okay, let me go do it at USC and be known as one of the best coaches of all time.
What can Alabama do for Nick Saban that they haven't already done? He's already got a statue outside the stadium, so.
But I'm talking about him personally. Tonight he would tie the Bear. Okay?
No, he's already tied. He'll beat the Bear.
Beat the Bear.
He'll surpass him, right?
Yeah, pass the Bear tonight.
Which is a heck of a note. Yeah. Something I'm sure he wants. So
that's, a lot of folks a few years ago said he was heading to Texas, and then he was heading here and heading there. But I just believe that he wanted to pass the Bear, and then we'll see what happens in a couple of years from now.
Maybe if he wins tonight, past the Bear, then he'll say, you know what, let's go back to the NFL, try it one more time.
Nah.
And go to Green Bay, be with Aaron Rodgers.
Now, Green Bay might be the one place that Saban or Meyer might do well.
I mean, that's
a different animal there in Green Bay than it is in L.A. or New York or something like that.
You look at all the 8 openings in the NFL, they say the 2 best openings are, hard to believe, but Cleveland's a great place. You got Baker Mayfield, you got Nick Chubb, you got good defense players, but Aaron Rodgers is sitting out there, one of the elite quarterbacks in the league, so why would you not want to go there? Those are 2 landing places. If you're looking at landing an NFL job, that's the 2 places you want to go,
right?
Because you already got the marquee quarterback and franchise quarterback, which is what you have to have in the NFL to win.
Well, Green Bay is a small town compared to all the other NFL teams. You'd never be able to put an NFL squad there now like they did back then. It's the closest thing to a college atmosphere in the NFL. And so maybe a Meyer or a Saban or someone like that would do well there. I don't know.
I'm just trying to do anything I can to get Nick Saban.
Well, just Dabo's going to come down from Clemson, what you just said. So.
I'll take my chances against that. I'm just tired of losing to Saban.
Can you see?
I wish him well, just beat the Bear tonight. What else is there left to do if he does that?
Yeah, couldn't you see the big old smile on Kirby Smart's face if next year, Georgia and Alabama get back to the SEC championship game and finally Kirby beats Saban? You think this?
That's what those guys want to do.
His mouth would probably grin from ear to ear.
None of his mentors have been able to beat him.
Not one.
He's like 9-0, 10-0 against us.
Yeah.
So, but we had him beat twice. Like I said, that stat still sticks out there. 2 games, 120 minutes, 118 and 120 minutes. Georgia led for 118 minutes and lost both games. So it's hard to fathom.
At the end.
I can still picture Tua throwing that laser to beat us in that national championship game last year. I mean, that was just
like Dan Marino did back in the early 80s.
Tough
had the game
pill to swallow.
Yeah, we had to let him throw that thing down the end zone and lose that blasted ball game.
But maybe that's what the NFL teams are waiting for. They're waiting for Saban to win tonight, get his record, beat the Bear, and then they can turn around and say, look, we'll pay you this many millions of dollars to come back to the NFL.
So do the NFL teams pay more for these head coaches than college?
Not really. That's what I'm saying. I mean that's what somebody said when they saw that thing about Kirby. They said, do you ever realize how much Kirby's making in the NFL? I don't know if the NFL's got that much money. I mean, Kirby's making a pretty good bit of money at Georgia. All these college
and that's
coaches,
all the money's just known about. Well, so... we've talked all that football. Big game tonight, Alabama, Clemson, national championship game. 2 best teams in the country. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The last time these teams have played, they've been very exciting, very close. A lot of folks think it comes down to how each quarterback plays tonight. And, of course, if you go with that, it looks like that Alabama's got the experience there, but you just never can tell. But it should be a very exciting game. Hopefully it will be like all 3 of the 4 NFL games were over the weekend. And, it's a shame that in the NFL, they always talk about this sometimes, that, you got these exciting, wild card, then move on, and then to the AFC and NFC championship game. And then sometimes when all that gets down to the Super Bowl, sometimes they just lay an egg and it's not an exciting game. A lot of times the playoff game is more exciting.
This game should be a fun game to watch. These 2 quarterbacks are dynamic. This kid from Lawrenceville, Trevor Lawrence surf. I mean, he's just fun to watch. I mean, he's going to definitely be an NFL quarterback, but this kid's just, I mean, Kelly Bryant was a heck of a quarterback for Clemson. I said this kid sat behind Kelly Bryant for 3 games, and all of a sudden Dabo said this guy's too talented, he's going to play, and then Kelly Bryant transferred, going to play in Missouri this coming year. So, but this kid can play. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Now, is he a true freshman?
True freshman.
True freshman where?
Yeah, him and Justin Fields came out at the same time. Lawrenceville. Carter, I'm saying Lawrenceville. I think that's right.
Okay, well, don't worry about it.
It's somewhere, I may have it wrong, but like I said, him and Justin Fields came out of the same class in Georgia. But this Lawrence kid, he committed to Clemson early, like his sophomore year in high school. He was committed to go to Clemson. Wow. So, but like I said, when he arrived on campus, he was so talented, he unseated Kelly Bryant, who was a phenomenal quarterback for Clemson as well. And so,
where's Kelly going next year, you said?
He's going to be in Missouri.
Missouri. Okay.
So all these quarterbacks, that's another story going on. Jalen Hurts at Alabama, he's going to be a graduate at the end of this year. So the question is, he's got one more year eligibility.
Yeah, he does.
They say he may be going to TCU, is the big rumor going out around the collegiate field. So we either see Jalen Hurts, what he does at the end of this game, or how much playing time he gets tonight, if he gets to play at all.
Okay. All right, you've got several meetings you're going to this week for the county council tonight, city tomorrow night,
school board tomorrow night. So just busy, first of the year. I mean, first of the month, busy time with all the meetings. So, but the county's first meeting of the year, 2019. Kevin McCreary's first official meeting as a county commissioner, first newly elected write-in candidate.
And just a couple of new school board members.
2 board members, Bruce Harris and Joe McPipkin.
And Joe's already been, got Nick Harris is going to be the school, the chairman of the school board again, Nick Ellis. And then Joe coming in as a rookie, in a sense, is going to be the vice chairman. Yeah. So got some good folks there on the school board and county council, and hopefully they'll get some good things done for Wayne County, for the school. And then, of course, we got the city tomorrow night. And just love what the city's doing with their refurbishing and remodeling and the update of Cracker Williams Recreation Center.
Just ready to remind parents and kids again, the playground will be closed Monday through Thursdays until further notice, and open up on Friday through Sunday. So keep that in mind. Please don't
go by Cracker Williams today through Thursday. It's not going to be open.
It's going to be dangerous situations. So that's what they're trying to keep people away from there as all that construction takes place. So.
Okay. Well, Bob, have fun watching the national championship game tonight. All right. World-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup with Cherry Broad, by Murphy Builder Supply Northeast Broad Street, and by the Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street and Mike Birch Ford in Blacksburg.
The world-famous Butch and Bob Show.